Welcome to the group energy healing. And I want to welcome all of you emotional freedom seekers. Today, we're going to be doing a group energy healing on the holidays. And I've spoken with a couple of people and kind of gotten feedback on where they think their energy is drained in the holiday season. And I've actually been dealing with this myself. It's something that I feel often my family has changed and we're not able to spend the holidays the way we used to as when I was a kid growing up. I would like to welcome along Kimberly. Thank you for showing up and being here today. And I know there's several people who are interested in receiving this healing, and they will because they have acknowledged that they want to receive this healing. So thank you, Kim. So it's for everybody to enjoy and to receive. And when you watch the replay, what I'd like you to do is just to go ahead and follow my instructions. And I want you to be in a quiet place so you can just kind of breathe in and breathe out. So when I think of the holidays, I remember them very vividly. When I was a kid growing up, we used to have fantastic parties on Christmas Eve. That was our holiday. Hello, Kathy. Thank you for joining. We used to have great parties. We always celebrated at Christmas Eve, and we had dancing and we had food, and my mother would come and get us up and get us new pajamas at midnight, and everybody would be having a great time. And that's my memory of Christmas. When, as I got older, of course, things changed when I found out about who Santa Claus was. I actually was able to catch my parents walking down the hall. I was about 10 years old. And I kind of knew that that's what happened, but I wasn't all the way convinced. So I remember that happening. And I have fond memories of feeling the love and the presence and the joy around the holidays. I have another Kathy joining. Thank you for being here. So as I've gotten older, of course, my holidays have changed. My family has changed. I have one child and one son, and he's moving on with his own family. And my nucleus of my family has shifted. My father passed away a few years ago, and it's just all changing. So often I feel abandoned. I feel like I don't have anything or anyone. So I kind of was, like I said, talking to a few people, and they were saying that that's how they feel. Sometimes in the midst of having family around you, you still feel alone. You still feel abandoned. Why is it that? Is it because there's so much hype around the holidays that you have this Norman Rockwell idea of everybody's supposed to be getting along and it's just all full of love? When you have personalities, things can shift in relationships. And I know that as I've gotten older as an adult, it's like the relationships that I have in my family have shifted because I moved into the person who I am. So as we move in our relationships with our family or friends, we're able to make a decision on where we want to spend our time with, who we want to spend our time with, and how we want to spend our time. So if we get overwhelmed and we feel obligated to do things, is that really bringing us the most joy? I was speaking with one of my clients, and she was upset because her family had chosen to do their family holiday the weekend before or the weekend after. And she felt very unloved and very alone. So when I asked her, is that true? She said, no, it's not true. And she thought of all of the other ways that she could engage in putting her love out into the world that just didn't have to do with her family. As I have realized this year, since my son has had a child, that I'm sharing things that I wasn't doing before, and it's very new to me, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but I move through the place of being grateful for everything that I have, and I'm blessed to have everything that I have. So what we're going to be doing today is an energy healing on those feelings, those emotions, and if there's anything else, hello, Rachel. If there's any specifics that you would like me to work on, please just go ahead and comment below, and I'll go ahead and take a look at that. So what I want, so let me just talk a little bit about the emotion code. I'm not sure how many people know about this, and this is what I'm doing in this group. I'm providing energy healing for people who haven't experienced it before. And the emotion code is such an amazingly powerful tool that I want everybody to experience. And that's why I'm offering complimentary sessions. Not only am I offering complimentary sessions to the people in this room, but also to their family members and to their friends who they refer through an invite to receive a free healing. One of my clients, actually two of my clients, actually have set up appointments for their underage children because I am able to work on children and animals as well. As anytime I can get permission from an owner of, not an owner, but a parent from a child or a parent of an animal, I can go ahead and do that session for them. So what the emotion code does and what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be collectively asking as a group, what are the emotions, the trapped emotions that need to be released that are keeping us from experiencing our most joy, happiness, and peace, especially at this time of the year? We don't need to compare ourselves to the family down the street or to the people who we believe that they have everything and they have the greatest holiday, because everybody has their own issues. We just don't always see it. So through what the emotion code does is it identifies, and then once I identify a trapped emotion that is causing this imbalance in the energetic, collective energetic group, then I go ahead and release it. And how I do that is through intention, and I actually will swipe over my head. Hi, Zelda. Thank you for coming. And I will swipe over my head, and what that does is it just transmutes the energy. If you want to know more in depth about the emotion code, I do have a video that's pinned in the group somewhere that talks a little more extensively about the emotion code. And what the emotion code does is it just transforms people's lives. I have a client who just recently went from a pain level of 7 to a 0, and she hasn't had pain in 2 weeks. And she says it's so interesting because she keeps looking for it because it's been there for such a part of her life. And she says it's not there anymore. So I work on emotions, I work on physical pain, money issues, business issues, career issues, because basically all of the trapped emotions that we have create different scenarios in our lives. We're blocking things from showing up. And we want to be able to have that ease and flow of love, of light, putting our heart center out into the world. And if we have all these trapped emotions that are blocking us, it's like these stumbling blocks that we have to go through, what's going to happen is that you're not going to get to your destination. So we want to go ahead and clear out all of this and make the path nice and clear for you. So that's a little bit about the emotion code. I make sure that I have my water because I need to be hydrated as an energy practitioner. So I think that's enough talking about what I'm talking about. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start the healing session. So I would just like everybody that's online, and if you're watching the replay, if you would just please go ahead and just close your eyes and take a deep breath in and out, just kind of calm and ground and center yourself. And what that's doing also, it's clearing our minds out. So we're not thinking of all of the stuff that just keeps going around and around, especially today, a week or so before Christmas. What is it we have to buy? Where do we have to go? All of the things that we get caught up in our mind, let's just go ahead and take a minute to just go ahead and relax and breathe into it. And then I'm going to go ahead and start the healing. So I'm just going to quiet myself for a moment to go ahead and also connect in with everybody that's on the call. Okay, and I'm connected. And what I'd like to know is that my intention is to have everybody who is in this group have the trapped emotions collectively come together, and I'm just going to go ahead and clear them. I'm just going to go through and do the session, and if you have any questions, just go ahead and make sure that you pop them in there, and I'll go ahead and get to them when I'm ready. Now, what I'm using is an emotion code chart, and it's part of the emotion code book that was written by Dr. Bradley Nelson. And what it has is it has 6 rows and it has 2 columns. And I am going to ask the collective subconscious what trapped emotions need to be released. I will identify them. I will say what they are. If they resonate with you, great. just process them in. And if they don't, it's for somebody else that's on the call. So let me go ahead and start. Okay, so the question I'm going to ask is, there a trapped emotion that's collectively prohibiting us from feeling love? So I'm going with love, and that is the part of where we feel abandoned and we feel neglected, because everything comes down to two emotions, the emotion of love and the emotion of fear. So on my screen over here, I'm going to be looking on the side. I'm looking at the emotion code chart. Hi, Missy. Thank you for showing up today. So the first emotion that's going to be coming that we're going to clear is called effort unreceived. And I'm sure you can understand what that is that we often try to do things and we feel like nobody's appreciating it. And we just are spinning our wheels because our effort is not being received, whether it be in a job, whether it be in your family life. As a child, how many things have we done as children where we feel that we're not getting acknowledged for? So collectively, that is the first trapped emotion that's come up. So I'm just going to go ahead and I will just go ahead and do the swipe movement. Now, Dr. Brad teaches to start off with the magnet, but because I've been doing this so long, I just have it's the intention and the energy from my hand. So what I'm doing is that I'm kind of, also because I'm intuitive, I'm actually feeling that this energy needs to have a little more clearing for everybody that's in our group. So what happens is when I start feeling it clear, just went away, then I know that we've released all those trapped emotions. And I'm also going to verify that we release these trapped emotions 100%. Did we release a trapped emotion of effort unreceived? 100% yes. Okay, so the second emotion that pops up is anger. And I don't think that needs to be explained, but when you're talking about feeling abandoned, there's an awful lot of anger that comes up. When you're feeling unloved, it's like, it's not fair. Why am I not getting? Why am I feeling this way? Why is this happening to me? Okay, so that's anger. So I'm just going to go ahead and clear the anger. And sometimes you'll see me do this, and sometimes you'll see me use my fingers. And then I also have another tool here, which is my pendulum, and I can use that as well to clear the energy of the group. The fun thing that I like about a pendulum is that it actually stops when it's done doing its work. So that tells me that we have just cleared the trapped emotion of anger for the collective group. Okay, and did we release it at 100%? Yes. Okay, so the second one I'm getting is discouragement. You put yourself out there and you try and you just get discouraged all the time. And it's like, why bother? Why try? It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Why do I need to keep putting myself out there? I'm not being received as I want to be received. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear that. Okay, that one's not as heavy as effort unreceived and anger. Okay, and so we have cleared that 100%. Let's see, is there another trapped emotion that's contributing to feeling abandoned and unloved? Guilt. So guilt is, again, something that, okay, so what's kind of coming to mind is that when you're feeling like you have to do something, that somebody wants you to go out, or somebody's invited you to a function, especially at this time of the year, somebody's buying you a present, and it's like, I don't want to have to give back. So what I'm getting is this big heaviness that says, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So don't make me do it. And I don't want to feel guilty about it. So what happens is, because there's a way that we feel that we need to present ourselves in the world. And if somebody's going to be nice to us, or if somebody asks us something, we don't want to make them feel bad. So in essence, we make ourselves feel bad. And I would rather make somebody else feel bad, even though that's difficult, than myself. So we carry around a lot of guilt. Especially, I think, at this time of the year, if you have children and you have to buy gifts and maybe you don't have the means. And all I know that over the years, things have gotten a lot more expensive. I used to be able to fill up my son's stocking with pencils and pens and little cars. It doesn't work anymore for little babies anymore, not at all. Okay, so we've released the trapped emotion of guilt. Okay, so let's see, is there another trapped emotion? Okay, there is one, and it's conflict. Conflict is about dealing with family members, having conflict about so much of this holiday season. Do you go to this family's house, or do you go to that family's house, or do you just stay by yourself? What is it? There's always some kind of a conflict that goes around the holidays, especially when it comes to families. So let's go ahead and clear that. Okay, we've cleared the trapped emotion of conflict, and that has been cleared at 100%. And I'm just checking the chart one more time. Okay, shock. Shock is something that's really interesting because I would have to say that in the majority of my sessions, it comes up. And it could be shock that is just related to, it doesn't always have to be that big, like, oh my gosh. But when we're kids, and especially if you have triggers of this time of the holidays or this time of the year, there's a lot of things that can come up about shock. It's in disbelief. Maybe you either got something that you didn't want and you thought, oh God, and you just felt like shock about it. It's like, how can that be? Why didn't somebody give me what I want? And maybe that doesn't sound like shock, but what I'm getting is that that's kind of the image that's coming through is that, again, we're not getting what we want. We're not being heard by the people that we want them to show up for us. Okay, so shock. Okay, so we've cleared that 100%. Okay, so I'm asking collective, group, subconsciously, if there's anything else that we need to clear, and I'm getting a no. So does anybody have any questions? Did anybody feel a sensation? Because oftentimes when an emotion comes out, somebody will feel like, oh, maybe they'll feel like something in their heart or a thought. Oftentimes what comes up is I'm working with my clients and clearing trapped emotions. A thought comes up and they thought, oh my God, that happened when I was 10. Or, yeah, I remember when I was 21. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Those are the kind of things that can come up. So you know that your subconscious and your conscious mind are kind of working together because it wants you to release everything that it wants to release so you can live your happiest self. So since we completed the healing, for those of you who are watching the replay as well as those on the call, please just make sure that you're hydrated. You are receiving the healing because it's energy and everything is energy. So drink a lot of water within the next 24 hours. And if you feel like you have a sense of emotion that's coming up, know that it's part of the healing. If you feel that there's a little bit of sadness, a little bit of anger or joy, oftentimes my clients, I would have to say the one thing that my clients always say is that they always feel lighter, no matter what. So this is going to conclude this session for the group energy healing. So I want everybody to experience more happiness, joy, and peace. And if you haven't signed up for your complimentary session and you would like to feel what energy healing can do for you and how it can benefit from you, please go ahead and I'll put in another link to set up your complimentary session. And what a great gift to give somebody who has never experienced something like this, somebody who has chronic pain that just can't seem to release it, or somebody who has emotional baggage, somebody who's struggling from anxiety or depression. Another thing that people are dealing with in this holiday season, moving into the beginning of next year, is weight release. We all want to feel fit. We all start our year off with all of our goals that we're going to get fit and we're going to eat right. Well, then what happens 2 weeks later? Nothing happens. Or we beat ourselves up because we're eating all of the wonderful sweets and treats that we can do, things that we only get once a year. So the emotion code can also help with all of that, all areas of your life. Any area in your life that you're dealing with, the emotion code can go ahead and help release. So I want to thank all of you for being here. and I look forward to our next session. I'm going to be doing group sessions as well as individual volunteer sessions. So if you can just post in the comments if you would like to continue next having a group session, or if you want to go ahead and have an individual volunteer session. So I hope you all have a lovely day. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.